So this question deals with ratios pounds to pence. It goes on and say determine 2.15 pounds to 125 pence as a ratio in its lowest terms, knowing that 1 pound is 100 pence. Okay, so if we write there as our ratio in words or worded ratio, pounds to pence. Okay, so you can call that a worded ratio, a form of labeling. Okay, it's always good to start ratios with a form of labeling. So on the pounds, according to this information there, on the pounds, we write the number 1 pound, 2, use the colon for 2, to 100 pence. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use this ratio to determine the value of 2.15 pounds to pence. Okay, so we have 2.5 pounds. How much pence that will give us? So we can use the x and a sub indice pence. Okay, how much pence is 2.15 pounds? So you have your label ratio, then your ratio with two numbers, and then your other ratio with a number and a letter. And then what you do now, you cross multiply. Okay, you multiply 2.15 by 100, and you always divide by the number diagonally opposite towards the letter. So we have to divide by 1. So you have to multiply 2.15 by 100 and always divide by the letter, by the number opposite to the letter that you are looking for. That is called the cross multiply. Okay, so x of pence will be equal to 2.15 times 100 divided by 1, and this will give us 215 pence. Okay, so 2.15 pounds is 215 pence. So again, you start with your label ratio, your ratio with two numbers, your ratio with a number and a letter. And then to find the letter, you cross multiply those two numbers that are diagonally next to each other, and you divide by the number diagonally opposite towards the letter. Okay, so now we can use that now to make a ratio now. Still have our labeling. So right now is pounds now is 215 pence. Okay, so you're going to make a new calculation. Yes, a new calculation to make a ratio with 215 pence to 125 pence. Okay, so we can call that therefore. Therefore, what do we have? We have 215 pence. Well, it's pence to pence now, so we're just simplifying that ratio. 215 pence to 125 pence. Okay, and what we can do now is to simplify. We can divide by 5 to begin with. 215 divided by 5, that will give us 43. 43, 2, and 125 divided by 5, that will give us 25. Okay, so that would be the solution of this question, which is a simplified ratio of 215 pounds to 125 pence. So first we converted 215 pounds to pence, and then we make a ratio with pence to pence. 215 pence to 125 pence will give us 43 to 25. If we want, we can put the labeling ratio pence to pence, okay? Because we know that 2.15 pounds is 215 pence. Agreed? Yes. And we just simplify it by dividing this ratio by 5. We can show the division by 5. Let's copy this down here. Put this here to show the simplification process. Okay. Divide by 5, here it is. Get 43, and 125 divided by 5. 125 divided by 5 is actually 25. Yes? And here you have it. The final answer is 43 to 25. Yes? 43 to 25. So here's the question. Here's the working to convert pounds to pence, and here's the ratio of of pence to pence, 215 pence to 125 pence.